Lots of questions to be answered today. Do you still stand with Rand? Will the White House have money for the bunny? And what color sequin jumpsuit will the Postmaster General wear on tour? Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky had some new thoughts on immigration today.
What we're trying to do is add teeth to that bipartisan plan. We want to make sure that border security is in there.
He also said there's no way we could possibly deport all 12 million illegals. Really? I think we probably could. So the question is, in light of what he said about immigration, do you still stand with Rand? Do you still stand with Rand?
Well, I stood with Rand.
You stood with Rand, but you don't stand with
I
Rand?
can't stand Rand.
You can't stand Rand?
Just with the...
You're committing, you can't stand with, he's out?
Top of the...
Wow, I'm not going that far, but he's certainly on thin ice. This is troubling. Why can't we deport all 12 million illegals? What's the problem with that? You mean to tell me the federal government could keep track of all of us when it comes to how much money we make? They can keep track of all the terrorists out there. They can get mail to each and every house. They can do all of that, but they can't track the 12 million? How do they know there are 12 million here? So we can't track them and then boot them? Of course we can, and here's how we do it. First, we start with the public service campaign that says, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. You tell them it's not going to be fun for you if you stay here. Self-deportation is the starting point. That means we take away all incentives, you gotta go. Then we simply pay to remove them. Where are we going to get the money? We're going to get the money from the incarceration of the illegals that have committed additional crimes that we pay right now. Right now we have about 34,000 illegals in jail. We pay, according to the Department of Homeland Security, $119 per day per illegal. That's $1.5 billion a year to incarcerate the worst illegals that are here in the country. Divided by 12 million, that means it's about $123 per illegal. That means within 2 years, we could buy all of them a plane ticket out of the country. We could certainly deport them. Due to sequestration cuts, the White House says they may have to cancel the annual Easter egg roll. So they're cutting the Easter egg roll before the billions of dollars that they waste other places. First they started by canceling the White House tours, and now the Easter egg roll. You know, this is like somebody being $500,000 in debt, racking up another $50,000 in debt every year, and then saying, this one day, today, I'm going to go ahead and order the small at Starbucks.
It's a tall.
What?
It's a tall. The small is a tall.
It's like them ordering a small at Starbucks this one day. White House released a memo speaking of the Easter egg roll today. Here's what they had to say. Finally, by using these tickets, guests are acknowledging that this event is subject to cancellation due to funding uncertainty surrounding the executive office of the president and other federal agencies. Now, there's no question of what's going on here. They're just trying to push people's buttons. They recognize the Easter egg roll is something emotional, and it's something that people will actually see cause and effect when it comes to the sequestration. It's a political game for them. Instead of actually going out and trying to cut, they're playing a political game. Newt Gingrich chimes in on Twitter and has this to say about the Easter egg roll cut. Shameless. How else can you describe the threat to cancel White House Easter egg hunt? Maybe pathetic, demagogic? You try to find the right words. You see, Newt is kind of right. It is pathetic. He knows the game that's going on. But that doesn't mean it shouldn't be cut. Of course it should be cut too. We don't have the money for this stuff. After we balance the budget, after we pay off the debt, after we don't have a deficit every year of $1.5 trillion, then we can decide as a country if we want to put a couple extra dollars to a White House Easter egg roll. Until then, yes, cut that, and cut the pardoning of the turkey celebration on Thanksgiving, and the White House tours, and all of that, as well as the big things, the big waste, graft, and corruption as well. The United States Postmaster General Patrick Donahue kicked off his world tour yesterday at the Intercontinental Hotel in San Francisco. 150 attendees got to meet him. That was the purpose of the gathering. They got a chance to meet him, Patrick Donahue. The cost? $8,000 for the invitations. Yeah, just the invitations were $8,000. Now, of course, the cost of the entire event was much, much more. The post office was $1.3 billion in debt just the fourth quarter of last year. They've racked up tens of millions of dollars in debt, and yet they're spending money on an experience where people can meet the Postmaster General. Who's running the post office? Snooki from Jersey Shore?
Let's face it, you're a very important person. And what happens to very important people? They get invited to very important events. So the United States Postal Service invites you and a few very important people like you to an exclusive reception to hobnob, trade contacts, and rub shoulders with the VIPs of USPS on Monday, March 18th at 6:30 p.m. And you'll be in some exceedingly important company. The General himself will be there. And this is no general. This is the Postmaster General, Patrick Donahue. He's one VIPMG, and he's on hand to shake your hand.
Exceedingly important people? The Postmaster General, exceedingly important. Who knew he was such a draw? Apparently he's a rock star. Look for his expose this month in Tiger Beat magazine. Actually, it wouldn't be Tiger Beat magazine. The only people that care about the post office are people who work for the post office and old people. Fortunately, no old ladies threw their granny panties or Depends on stage yesterday at the Intercontinental Hotel, and we're all pretty happy about that. Look for the Postmaster General playing Branson's Government Money Pit Theater, April 5th through the 12th, and then in Reno, May 1st, providing it doesn't rain. The post office said they were going to cut Saturday delivery. Now, Congress says, no, maybe you can't cut Saturday delivery. This is going to go back and forth some more. Meanwhile, the real people that are pushing the post office, the real people that push this failed concept, failed now because technology has passed them by. The people pushing it are the unions. It's come down to the union workers still wanting their jobs, still wanting to make as much as they can, but more importantly, the union reps who are saying, you know what, we need their money. We need them to keep paying dues. It's technology that's passed us by. It's time to go. Give up the technology and move on. The union people are trying to demagogue it and tell us, that's a fad. That email's never going to catch on. Or they treat it like it's some evil thing. It's witchcraft, I tell you. It's the devil's work, that electronic mail. It's not. It's simple technology. Accept it, embrace it, and phase out the post office. Follow me on Twitter. It's at Doc Thompson Show. Remember, the Doc Thompson Show is a Skip Lacombe, Jonah Falcon production. Good night, Steve Cannon, wherever you are. I'm Young. Now, you go home.